The sun is rising over the Eildon Hills. You can't see her yet, but you know she's coming by the way the sky is stretched out a canvas colour range. A pink band is straddling the horizon, and purple is pushing darkness back into a retreat. The stars and moon going with it, their silvery goodness done for another evening. And it's no long before thin golden bands start to kiss my rosy cheeks pink. And then they're getting thicker and thicker, and there she is, bonny as ever. Daybreak. What's somebody like me doing wandering around the hills at dawn, you may ask? And it'd be a fair question. I've just met a lassie. She's something special like. We would have been in a bit of trouble if her brother had caught us in the barn, so I slipped out. And well, I'm not ready to go back to my lodgings yet, so I figured I'd wander round the hills, greet the dawn. The sun's getting higher now. And I'm realising I'm a bit strange. A wandering wanderer with nae friends or family. Yeah, I'm odd. My name? Oh, I could tell you, but there'd be nae point. Harper, Rhymer, Teller, now those are ones I like. Arsehole, Dickhead. Get off the stage, mate, you're shite! No such a fan of those. And there are others. But the sun's getting higher now, and I can't stop thinking about this girl. Elspeth, her name. I think I might love her. I know that sounds silly. It's only been one night, but she's quick. She's witty and she's funny and she's so rude she could make a drunken mariner blush. You don't meet people like Elspeth often. And she's so smart, way smarter than me, know that it's hard. Only I can't stay. How can I? Me with her brother on the farm with wains and sheep, nah. People often ask me, you see, you are a singer, a poet, and a storyteller. Do you have any real skills? To which I reply, I am a singer, a storyteller, and a poet. So no, I don't have any real skills. And then there's fame. I'm close now. I have been a moth to fame's flame for so long, and only recently it hasn't hurt so much to touch. And if I walk away, it's a life work gone. I'm shite at making decisions as well. I think it's because I don't know where I'm meant to be. I've never known where I fit. Too hard for some, too soft for others, mostly too soft. Too stupid, too smart, too quick, too slow. And then there's my skin. Light brown, but it's different from the folk around here. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's no many folk with light brown skin around these parts with this kind of a voice. And people always notice. Some mean it kindly like, "Oh, your skin," they'll be saying. "Oh, it's lovely. Where did you get the skin so dark like that?" Sometimes they're no so nice. Either way, it reminds you that you don't really belong here. My mother, I don't even look like her. She's pale, you see, red hair. And she says my father was a fairy lord. He was probably some prick like who ran off as soon as he heard she was pregnant. It works with fame too, you know. Some courts, they only want to hear you tell because, well, you might have an exotic tale for them. And then there's those that don't want to hear you telling at all because you look weird. Started from childhood. It was like it was just a day when kids realised that I looked different from them. And you know what kids are like? As soon as they work something out, they're no stopping. I know I've got to work out how to fit in. I've got to pick. But my skin's all I've got. I can't change it. It goes pale in the winter and brown in the summer. There's no doing anything about that. Surely there's no doing anything about it. How can I be from over there when I'm from here? But I didn't feel like I belong here. See, I said I was shite at making decisions. So what I do, right? I sit myself down. It's already a bonny day. It's going to be a broad day. Fuck me, it's going to be a fantastic day. I'm still in a good mood, like. I've got myself a bottle of Bourne-based Bliss and I've got my heart beside me. And I'm sat under the Eildon tree. That's a fine tree, aye. Been here for years. 6, maybe even 7. I don't know much about trees, I have to say. But it's got lots of shade. And the sun is hot in the sky now, and I'm trying to strum out a new melody. But every time I try to think of the words that say just what I'm feeling, they dissolve like honey and... Oh fuck, you can see my point, like. Sod this for a laugh. I'm going to have a nap. So I settle myself down, and it is a wonderful nap. Delicious. The kind of nap you dream in and then dream of until your head hits the pillow again. That kind of a nap. And when I awake, I must have been passed out for some time because, well, the sun, she's setting now. She's signing off with a dazzling array of saffrons and pinks and, she's special. And I'm looking out. The land is like a sea of green. Except instead of cresting wave tops, you've got trees instead. People argue over whether east or west is best, but I think right here, it's nae bad like. And then I see something I'm not expecting. And I hear at the same time bells on the wind. And on the horizon, there's a rider on a creature I can't make out. But they're speeding toward me. Fast. Faster than the wind that's blowing, and soon they're on top of me. The creature they're on is like a giant cat. It's huge, with stripes crisscrossing against its body. White, black and orange. It's got fangs the size of daggers. And the bells are attached to it, and they're fine jewels as well, ones I've no seen before. And the rider? Well, they're dressed in crisscrossing sort of greens. Very exciting and jaunty angles, I have to say. And their eyes are the colour of a forest at sunset, iridescent and unblinking. And their skin, it matches their eyes, dark like mine, but darker still. And then somehow shimmering like starlight in the night. And I start to think, oh fuck, what if it's the Virgin Mary herself? Or Christ, what if it's Christ, it's Jesus? I can't really tell, so I fall to my knees and I start saying, well, I think I'm a Hail Marys. And they just laugh at me. I am not of heaven, nor of earth. I am the Thane of Elfland. I have heard tales of your telling. Now rise, give me a story. Now, I know an idiot. I know rise means stand up, so I do. I'm trying to think of a story to tell them. If you tell well, I will reward you with something of your choosing. Okay, I'm a bit of an idiot, but I know that if I ask for money, it could turn to leaves in my hand. If I ask for fame, I'll never know a day's rest. Now, if I ask for a peaceful life, I'll get nothing of the sort. And they're close to me now. I can feel the heat from their body. And they're just sort of looking at me with those amazing eyes, and they have lips the colour of a sunset. How did they do that? You look like you had a fun night, but I assure you, I could give you a much more enjoyable evening. Ooh, that's exciting, I think. But I know better than to be jumping into bed with a fairy. I'm trying to think of a way out of it when they just say, if you kiss my lips, your body will follow, and together we will to Elfland. That doesn't sound so bad, like. Because I think of Elspeth, and I think of the things her brother said. There's a reason why I had to slip out. And I think of all those kids. I think of life here, and I just don't know how to make it work. And I think of how their skin is dark like mine, but darker still. What if my mum wasn't lying? I kiss their lips, and sure enough, my body follows. And they take their lips and play them over my chest, and they take my lips and place them down, 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 and, well, I'll spare you the details, but, well, at one point, I wasn't exactly sure where my body began and where theirs ended. I wasn't sure what was up or down, and I'm pretty sure that at some stages, my nipples were in the sky. Don't ask me to explain how that happened, or if it was real. Eventually, we're spent like. And they roll off me, and I'm covered in sweat, and they look like they've barely done anything, just woken up. And they look smug, like a cat that's just caught a mouse. And they look at me with those eyes, and they say, well told, teller. And I don't remember telling them anything. But then I'm getting weird flashbacks of talking during. Normally that would be weird, but I'm kind of enjoying it, and it's strange, and I can find myself, I'm lost. They're just staring at me. And I can just stare at them. And they take out a pipe. And they take a great puff on that pipe and blow a plume of bright blue smoke. And it's so thick that it's blocking out the olden tree. And I'm transfixed by this plume of smoke, getting thicker and wider and thicker and wider. And in it, I can see a figure. A rider crisscrossing green dark skin like the shimmering night sky. And they're on a strange beast, a cat with stripes that's massive. I look to my left. And the thane is gone. And then I feel weird, strange like. Like I don't want to open my eyes for a bit, even though they are. And when I look to my right, the world is rushing by me. And when I look to my left, the same. I'm on the back of that strange beast. My arms are around the thane. And with a voice that I only hear in my head, no speaking comes from their mouth, they say, we are riding now toward Elfland. Say goodbye to the sun and the moon and the leaf on the tree, and know that you chose well. I can only think, fucking hell, I don't know if I did, man. We ride on for what seems like an eternity. And I must have slept, because when I awake, we are no longer in green rolling hills. We are surrounded by sands upon sands upon sands. I know the word, a desert, but I've never seen one in my life. It's like a dry sea with rolling dunes going off into the horizon, and there's a weird light. I look up to see the sun and realise there's no fucking sun. Where the fuck is the sun gone, I ask? I told you, they reply, to say goodbye to the sun. It does not shine where we are, and nor will you see it until you return, if you return to your world. The words don't exactly fill me with confidence. Fucking hell, man, I'm thinking. Please stop swearing, they say. I say, but why? This is a softer place, with a language older than your own. It does not suit swearing. And I say, oh, older? As if you're telling me people didn't swear in the past. What you're saying is you are well-to-do. Okay, then. I don't quite know how to describe what happens next. Without much changing, they're all teeth. And they just look at me and they speak this time. They say, no fucking swearing. Shite, I think to myself very quietly. Soon, we're approaching a river. I can see it shimmering in the not sunlight. And I think, God, that must have a lot of peat in it, because it's dark, like. And in fact, as we get closer, it's ruby red. It looks like wine. Oh, if it's wine! I'm living the dream. A river of wine. Where have I come to? It's no wine. As we delve in, the beast that we're on, its fur is covered in the red stuff, and it's sticky and oozy, and it's in my shoes, and I can smell it. Blood, I whisper aloud, feeling horrified. The Thane just cackles and replies, you did not think that all the blood shed in your world simply ran into the ground? It must go somewhere. And in your stories, we are the bloodthirsty savages. The river always runs quickly. Alright, I'm thinking, there's no need for the moral lesson. I could definitely do with some wine though. And I must hear my thoughts, because they pass me a pouch. Drink, it will soothe your pain. Now I am a pro when it comes to drinking to drown sorrows. Man learned to swim and I just made the pool higher. Very good. And it is fantastic wine. The best I've ever had. Oh! And I do feel 1,000,000 florins as I come off of it. Eventually, because time was kind of hard to put your finger on, so I just say words like eventually or time passed. We came to an orchard. It was gorgeous. Like autumn, spring and summer rolled into one. Bees were busily humming and buzzing past us. And then there were the trees. So many that I didn't recognise. Apple ones, I knew them, smart guy. But then there were pomegranate, mango, banyan, and some weird berries they told me about, but I've forgotten now. I felt like a wee 6-year-old, but I was shattered, and I said, can I have a nap? And they replied, oh, sweet teller, you must be so tired. And they wrapped their arms around me, and they were strong and soft at the same time. I felt their muscles rippling, and I slept soundly, I tell you that. I awoke to them playing a wee tune on my fiddle, and I couldn't help but be roused. And soon we were playing out pleasure upon pleasure on each other once more, working hard on the soft ground and the leaves. When we finished, I noticed how quiet it was. Something like that should have had birds in it, but there were none. As I sat up, I looked into the distance and I could see 3 paths ahead of me. Behind was the path that we had come from. I looked at one. Oh, it was gorgeous. Flowers on either side and what appeared to be a waterfall at the far end. I said, that one, that's bonny-like. The path to hell, they said, deadpan as a jester. Oh, right. The next one, it was covered in gorse and heather. Now you could barely see it. That'll be the road to heaven then, I'm assuming. Oh, you catch on quick, they mocked. The third path, that round and wound around the brae, it was ferny and bonny enough. Is that where we're going? I asked. You really do learn fast, tenant. Wait a minute, I say. Doesn't this mean that if there's heaven and hell, there's a God and a devil? It's all true. Oh no, man, I'm going to be in serious trouble. I'm not going to be ending up on the path to heaven. No, they reply. Not likely. I really hope they're just taking the mick. In some ways, yes. All of the things you describe are true. In some ways, no. There are other texts about heaven and hell that you may not have heard. I am not mentioned in the Bible, am I? And yet, here I stand. You humans with the way you tell your tales, you would think Jesus was white and came from a land where he spoke your tongue. He wasn't he? And he doesn't he? Oh, shite. No swearing, I'm sorry. Oh, that's all interesting enough. Your path may be different from those 3. That is for you to decide. There's only 3 paths, I say. Are you being metaphorical? You'll find out. Come. And we remount their steed and we start to ride on this thing that they have now told me is a tiger. Ooh, sounds very interesting, tiger. And we ride around the ferny brae and down and down and down, and suddenly we can see it. Elfland. It's sparkling with jewels, and it's so bright even though there's no sun. And there's just fields of fields of fields of fields like a patchwork blanket that's gorgeous. And all of them are flowering and in bloom, and then in the distance is a citadel. It started as a shimmer. White murmur on the horizon, but as we get closer and we are rushing like the wind, I can see it so clearly. It's marble. Its walls are 20, 30, 40, 50, I don't know, but they're tall. And then there are palaces inside, stacked higgledy-piggledy like a mad artist had put them together. They must have been on something when they were designing that. I joke. The thing, as deadpan as ever, they were on many things when they designed it, good terror. And we're getting closer. And as we're getting closer, I can see that there are patterns on the walls. The whole walls are decorated with animals. Some of them I know there's a tiger on there. And then there's ones I don't know. There's a sort of bird with bright painted feathers. And they're all made of stone and goat. I know that one. I've seen a goat before. Excellent, yes. And then I'm thinking they're really lifelike actually. This artist is good, whoever they are. Well, one of the tigers moves, walks across its wee bit to the goat, devours it, and then carries on merrily, much to the protest of some of the other goats on other bits of the wall. This is a strange place, I think. And as we're getting closer, I'm thinking, are we just going to jump over? Jump over? No, it's weirder than that. We just go straight through the walls, as if they're no there. A cold passes over me as we do, and then we're there. Inside the walls. And it must be my Thane's quarters because we're in a gorgeous courtyard. There's a few tents dotted about. The floor is sandy and smooth with marble. And there's a reflecting pool. And I'm lost in its waters. I see the Thane's reflection come behind me. They lift my shirt. They take off my trousers. And we bathe together. We head to bed. And I've still no seen anyone else. I'm so excited to. I'm really starting to think my mum may not have been lying. The Thane looks like me. What if other people do too? Is this home? I'm thinking. A dream. A strange dream that night. It's dark. And I don't think I'm in a tunnel, but it sort of feels like I am. And I'm running from something as fast as I can. There is something behind me. Teeth and claws. And it's huge. And it's grey. And it's coming for me. And if it gets me, it will be the end of me. So I'm running, and I'm running, and I'm running as fast as I can. And sweat is pouring down, but no matter how fast I run, it is just behind me. And I'm only ever just ahead of it. And I wake up in sweats and cold sweats. And the Thane, they're there. And they throw those arms around me and I feel safe. The dream is 1,000,000 miles away. Just a bad dream, I say. Trying to look sort of cool and still seem like I'm the semblance of a sort of human. Just a dream. They repeat. As if it might not have been. That night, I'm given clothes. At least I think it's night. It's no light anymore. There's no sun, remember. There's no stars either to see by. It's just darkness. As if it was a candle you could blow out and turn back on. But I'm given clothes. I'm given a skirt. And it's wonderful and freeing, and people would mock me to be wearing this back home, but it's fantastic actually. And I'm given a loose top, a sort of shirt, and I feel fancy and fabulous, and sandals are on my feet. Come, says the Thane, time for you to meet my people. And we start to weave through corridors that seem to move and slant at jaunty angles. And I'm trying to think how there could be corridors. The door we came in had the courtyard, but that's gone now. Shifted like sands on dunes. And we're weaving and winding, and the Thane knows exactly where they are going. Torch in hand, it's burning fiery away. We pass many doors, all brightly decorated. Until we pass one door, cold air seeps from underneath. And it's just plain like. I ask the Thane, what's behind that one? And the Thane says, for your own good, do not open that door. I will not stop you, but I advise you leave it alone. I'm not sure about that. I'll follow my Thane anyway. Strange one. We carry on until eventually we don't reach the door. We reach a great archway. And there is an open courtyard with torches burning and tables hundreds of metres long. And they're low down like, and people are sat cross-legged on the floor. I say people, fae folk. And they do look like me. They're darker, aye, but they've got skin. It's brown like. And some don't look as human as I do. There's a few with elephant heads. There's ones that definitely look like us, but they're hairy. Monkeys. I'm told. Do they talk? One starts talking. They do talk. Nobody's noticed me yet, but the thing announces our latest arrival from Earth, a teller of stories. Welcome. And a rapturous applause goes out. They're all so excited, and I'm thinking, I'm home. I've made it. And words go out. One of the monkeys shouts, "Tell us a story!" Well, not in that accent, but I wouldn't try to do theirs. One of the elephants starts to trumpet up and says, "A story, a story!" And it flies round and it shoots and it bounds, and I try to think, oh, I'm on the spot, what am I going to tell? So I tell one, I always tell when I'm in a tight spot. It's one about the sun and the moon and the stars and how they came to be. It's an old story. And when I finish, they are almost in tears. I didn't know why. I'm not that good. Maybe it's because they don't have the sun and the moon. Maybe they miss it. But they are so happy. And they invite me over and they sit me down. And a big bowl of something that smells unbelievable is put in front of me. It looks like chicken. And it's in a sort of sauce. And it smells so good. And I sort of say, I've heard stories. I'm sat next to this wonderful looking fairy person. I've heard stories. Am I allowed to eat the food, or will I be stuck here? And they say, no. You've only been told that because the food's normally too spicy for your kind. But give it a go. I do, and it is delicious. I tear off chunks of bread, chapati I'm told. And I dig in and I put it in my belly, and oh my lord, it's amazing. The flavours explode. Beer is passed round, and we drink until we're merry. And suddenly a harp is out and I'm playing a wee jig and people are up and dancing and I'm singing and we are having a time. It's amazing. It's incredible. I'm linking arms. And before I know it, it's a blur. I'm heading on my way back. And as I leave in the sort of courtyard, there's a few folk I see. Faces solemn as cliffs, staring right at me as if to pierce my soul. They don't make me feel good about myself. But I try to ignore them. Most folk are being really nice. And it's so exciting. And we head back to the Thane's room. But there's plenty of us. And, well, one of them kisses my shoulder blade as we enter. Another takes off my shirt and I look to the Thane as if to say, "Is this alright?" And the Thane says, "You may do as you please. I am here to be with you. If you would like to enjoy, please do." And so we do. We make merry that night in ways that, well, I've gone into lots of details. You probably get the picture. When I awake, I've got skin pressed on my skin, arms draped over me, and I think I'm as happy as I've ever been. There's a wee thought at the back of my head, I'm sure you get it. I've got to know what was behind that door. I know they told me not to look, but they said I could, so it can't be that bad, can it? A little voice is going, "You should know better than to go investigating doors you're not meant to look at in Elfland." But it was also fun last night. What could possibly go wrong? So I try to retrace my steps, and although things have changed, the fact I'm still a wee bit drunk, I reckon, is helping, because I'm not looking for the same order I would be back in Earth. I'm like finding my way, and I'm just looking at the doors, knowing that somehow it's going to appear soon. I'm going through corridor on corridor on corridor, and then there it is. The cold is coming out from beneath my feet. It's plain. I don't know if I should open it. I'm shite at making decisions. Fuck it. I've got to know, don't I? So I turn the handle and it opens with a creak. Inside is dark, but I take a torch from the wall Slowly the light spills on eyes and faces, human faces. There's a man stood directly in front of me with a spear bursting out of his chest. His eyes are wide open and I can see that shallowly he's breathing, though he's no making a sound. Next to him, a woman. Well, most of a woman. Her arms are missing, as is a great chunk of her leg, and her neck's halfway to cut off. Blood is seeping from her open eyes. And there's a person next to them, and a person next to them, and then a person, and a person. In fact, as far as my torchlight goes, it's just people. All in rippling agony, stuck. And then I feel a tap on my shoulder, and I hear a voice. I told you not to come in this room. And everything goes dark.